There is a kind of pain that no one hears, no cries out loud, no complaints, no attention. It's just silent tears falling in the darkness, known only to Allah. A woman can smile all day, talk normally, laugh with people, but deep inside her heart is carrying a storm no one can see. And when she finally breaks, she doesn't break in front of Nasser. She breaks in sujood, she breaks in silence. But listen carefully, that silence is not empty. It is full of du'as. It is full of sabr. It is full of sabr. It is full of trust in Allah. There is a quiet kind of strength that the world often fails to recognize, the strength of a woman who is breaking inside but refuses to collapse outwardly. When she cries in silence, it's not because she is weak, but because she has learned how to carry her pain with dignity. These are not ordinary tears. They are the result of battles fought within the heart, of words she chose not to say, of emotions she chose to control, and of patience she chose to control, and of patience she chose to hold on to even when everything inside her was urging her to give up. A woman's silent tears often come after she has already tried to be strong for too long. She has endured disappointment, betrayal, loneliness, or emotional exhaustion, yet she continues to show up for life. She fulfills her responsibilities, cares for others, and keeps her composure in front of the world. No one sees the weight she carries because she has mastered the art of hiding it. And that is where her true strength lies, not in never feeling pain, but in feeling it deeply and still choosing to stand. When she cries alone, it is a moment of honesty between her and Allah. There is no need for explanation, no need to pretend, no need to be strong. In those moments, her tears speak what her words cannot. Every tear becomes a silent dua, a form of worship that rises from a qalban that still believes, even when it is hurting. This is not weakness. This is iman in its purest form. Trusting Allah while feeling broken. The world often celebrates loud resilience, the kind that is visible and praised, but silent resilience. The kind that is visible and praised, but silent resilience is far more powerful. It requires a level of emotional control and inner strength that not everyone possesses, to suffer quietly without seeking validation or sympathy from others and still maintain faith. That is qawwata, that is strength at its highest level. Her silence is not emptiness, it is restraint, it is the decision to protect her dignity, to avoid unnecessary conflict, and to rely on Allah instead of people. While others may vent, complain, or seek attention, she turns inward and upward. She chooses patience over reaction, faith over despair, and hope over despair, and hope over despair, and hope over despair. And here she is growing. She is becoming stronger emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Every tear she sheds is softening her heart, purifying her soul, and strengthening her connection with Allah. She may not realize it in the moment, but she is being elevated. Her rank is rising. Her character is being refined. One day, the same woman who cried silently will look back and realize that those moments did not break her. They built her. They made her more resilient, more aware, and more connected to her Creator. The tears she once thought were a sign of weakness will become proof of her strength. In the end, it is not the absence of pain that defines strength, but the ability to endure it with grace, patience, and unwavering faith. There are moments in life when a woman feels completely unseen. She may be surrounded by people, yet no one truly understands what she is carrying inside. She listens to others, supports them, smiles when needed, but when it comes to her own pain, there is silence. No one asks the deeper questions, and even if they did, she might not have the words to explain what her heart is going through. It is in these moments of loneliness that a powerful truth exists. Even if people don't see her, Allah always does. Every tear that falls from her eyes, no matter how quietly, is known to Him. Not a single drop goes unnoticed. While the world measures pain by what is visible, Allah knows the pain that is hidden. He knows the thoughts she keeps to herself, the worries that keep her awake at night, the silent dua she repeats in her heart, and the strength it takes for her to keep going when she feels like giving up. She doesn't need to prove her struggle to anyone because her Lord already understands it completely. When she cries in silence, it often becomes her most sincere moment. There is no performance, no need to appear strong, no pressure to hold back. It is just her emotions and Allah. In that private space, her tears become more than just an expression of pain. They become a connection without even realizing it. She is turning toward the one who can truly heal her. Her silence becomes a conversation that doesn't require words because Allah understands what is in her heart even before she speaks. Sometimes the absence of human understanding is actually a hidden mercy. When people fail to understand her, she is guided back to Allah. Instead of relying on others who may disappoint her, she learns to rely on the one who never will. Instead of seeking comfort in temporary places, she begins to find peace in something eternal. This shift is powerful because it changes where her strength comes from. It is no longer dependent on people. It is rooted in her relationship with Allah. Allah sees not only her pain, but also her patience. He sees the moment she chooses silence over anger, restraint over reaction, and faith over reaction, and faith over despair. These choices may seem small or invisible to others, but they are odium in the sight of Allah. Every time she holds back tears in public but releases them in private, every time she chooses to trust instead of complain, she is building something deeply valuable, her closeness to Allah. There is also a comforting reality knowing that Allah's awareness is not passive. He doesn't just see her pain. He responds to it in ways she may not immediately recognize. Sometimes he brings ease slowly. Sometimes he replaces what she lost with something better. And sometimes he replaces what she lost with something better. And sometimes he simply strengthens her heart so she can carry what once felt unbearable. His response is always wise, always timed perfectly, and always rooted in love and mercy. One day she will realize that even when she felt the most alone, she was never truly alone. Allah was always there, watching, listening, and caring in ways no human ever could. And the tears she once cried in silence will become a reminder, not of her pain, but of the closeness she built with her Creator during those hidden sacred moments. There are times when pain feels so heavy that it begins to seem like a punishment. A woman may sit alone, replay everything that went wrong, questioning her worth, her choices, and even her faith. Her choices and even her faith. She wonders why certain NASA left, why certain doors closed, and why her heart had to endure so much at once. In those moments, it's easy to believe that the pain is meant to break her, but what she cannot yet see is that this pain is not designed to destroy her. It is carefully shaping her into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to Allah. Pain has a way of stripping away illusions. It reveals who truly cares and who was only temporary. It forces her to confront realities she may have been avoiding. While it feels uncomfortable and even unbearable at times, this process is deeply transformative. The heartbreak, the disappointment, and the silent struggles are all part of a preparation that is happening behind the scenes. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, knows exactly what she needs to grow, even if it doesn't match what she wants in the moment. Sometimes Allah removes people from her life, not because she wasn't good enough, but because they were not good for her. What feels like loss is often protection. What feels like rejection is often redirection. She may cry over what ended, not realizing that holding on to it would have caused her even more pain in the future. Allah sees what she cannot see. He knows the hidden outcomes, the unseen consequences, and the paths that would have led her further away from peace. In the middle of her pain, she is also being taught lessons that comfort could never teach her. She is learning patience, not the easy kind, but the kind that requires her to trust Allah when nothing makes sense. She is learning reliance, turning to Allah not just when things are good, but especially when they are not. She is learning self-worth, understanding that her value does not decrease because someone failed to see it. These lessons are not small. They are building the foundation of a stronger, more resilient version of herself, Pain also softens her heart in a unique way. It makes her more compassionate, more understanding of others, and more aware of the struggles people hide. It deepens her empathy and strengthens her character without even realizing she is becoming someone who can carry both her own burdens and support others with sincerity. This depth cannot be gained through ease. It is cultivated through hardship. What she sees as delay or difficulty is often preparation for something greater than she imagined. Allah may be aligning circumstances, protecting her from unseen harm, or preparing her for a blessing that requires a stronger version of her. If she received everything she wanted without this growth, she might not be able to handle it or appreciate it fully. One day, when she looks back, the pain will start to make sense. She will see how every hardship pushed her toward a better path, how every loss made space for something more meaningful, and how every loss made space for something more meaningful, and how every tear contributed to her becoming who she was meant to be. The pain was never there to break her, it was there to build her into someone ready for the beauty that Allah had already planned for her future. There are moments when a woman raises her hands in dua with a qalbin full of hope, asking Allah for something she deeply desires, relief from pain, clarity in confusion, or the return of something she has lost. She asks sincerely, with tears in her eyes and faith in her heart. But as days turn into weeks and weeks into months, she begins to feel the weight of waiting. Nothing seems to feel the waiting. Nothing seems to change. The silence feels long. And slowly, a question forms inside her. Why is my dua not being answered? What she feels in that moment is very human. Waiting is not easy, especially when the heart is tired. But what she may not realize is that Allah's delay is never a form of neglect. It is not rejection. It is not indifference. It is something far more meaningful and precise. Allah, in His perfect knowledge, sees the full picture, what she can see and what she cannot. He knows the right time, the right way, and even the right version of her that needs to exist before that dua becomes a reality. Sometimes, if what she is asking for were given immediately, it could harm her in ways she does not understand yet. It might come at a time when she is not emotionally ready, or it might connect her to something that will bring more pain than peace. So Allah in His mercy holds it back, not to hurt her, but to protect her. The delay itself is a form of care, even if it feels like silence. There are also times when Allah delays because He is preparing something better than what she asked for. What she sees as the perfect outcome is limited by her perspective, but Allah's plan is beyond that. He may replace what she wanted with something more fulfilling, more lasting, and more aligned with her true happiness. But that replacement requires time to arrange, time to build, and time to prepare her heart to receive it. During this waiting period, something else is happening quietly within her. Her patience is growing, her reliance on Allah is deepening. She begins to understand that her peace cannot depend on immediate results, but on trust in Allah's wisdom. This kind of patience is not passive, it is active faith. It is waking up every day, still believing, still hoping, still trusting, even when there is no visible sign of change, and every moment of this patience is being recorded. Nothing is wasted. Every tershil while waiting, every silent prayer repeated, every moment she chooses hope over despair. These are all acts of worship. They are seen, valued, and rewarded by Allah in ways she cannot yet measure. One day the answer will come. It may not look exactly like what she once imagined, but it will carry a sense of peace and clarity that only Allah can give. And in that moment, she will understand why it had to take time. She will see how the delay protected her, shaped her, and guided her towards something far more meaningful. Until that day arrives, her role is not to lose hope, but to hold on to it more tightly. Because Allah never ignores a sincere heart. He responds in the best way, at the best time, and when He gives in a way that makes every moment of waiting worth it. There comes a point in every difficult journey where everything begins to shift, even if it starts quietly and almost unnoticed. The woman who once felt overwhelmed by pain, who cried in silence and carried burdens no one understood, will not remain in that state forever. No hardship is permanent, and no day is lasts endlessly. What she is going through is a chapter, not the entire story. And just as every night eventually gives way to dawn, her life is also moving toward a moment where light will return. At first, the change may be subtle. Her heart begins to feel a little lighter than before. The same thoughts that once overwhelmed her start to lose their intensity. She may still remember the pain, but it no longer controls her the way it used to. This is how healing often begins. Not as a sudden transformation, but as a gradual easing. It is Allah gently mending what was broken, restoring what was lost within her, and replacing heaviness with calm. With time, she starts to notice that the things which once hurt her deeply no longer have the same power over her. The ashkhas who left no longer occupy her mind the same way. The situations that once felt unbearable become lessons she can now reflect on with clarity. This is not because her past has changed, but because she has changed. She has grown through what she went through. Her strength has increased, her perspective has deepened, and her connection with Allah has become stronger. And then something beautiful begins to unfold. New opportunities appear, new doors open. New Nasa enter her life, people who bring ease instead of confusion, respect instead of hurt, and sincerity instead of disappointment. She begins to experience moments of happiness that feel genuine, not forced. Moments where her smile is real, where her qalb feels at peace, and where she no longer has to pretend that everything is okay. What makes this stage so powerful is that it carries a different kind of appreciation. Because she has known pain, she values peace more deeply. Because she has experienced loss, she recognizes the beauty of what she now has. Her gratitude becomes stronger, more sincere. She no longer takes small blessings for G. She no longer takes small blessings for G, granted, because she understands what it feels like to have them taken away. At some point, she will look back at her past, the night she cried, the moment she felt alone, the ayyam when nothing made sense. And instead of feeling broken by those memories, she will see them differently. She will realize that those were the moments that shaped her, that brought her closer to Allah, and that led her exactly to where she is now. Is the pain that once confused her will begin to make sense. She will understand that Allah was never distant. He was guiding her all along, removing what was not meant for her, protecting her from what she could not see, and preparing something far more beautiful than she had imagined. What once felt like endings were actually beginnings in disguise. And in that realization, her heart will settle, not because life became perfect, but because she trusts that whatever comes next is part of a plan that is always in her favor. The tears she once cried in silence will no longer feel like moments of weakness, but like stepping stones that led her to a place of peace, strength, and quiet happiness she once thought was impossible.